Hello, everybody. We are just getting in a little bit of audio check. Got new setup. Took me a minute to get in because of OBS. I have more than one microphone in this joint now, so we have to see how it's going to handle that. Nothing sounded too far-fetched yet. I think we're going to be in the clear. Sounded too far-fetched yet. I think we're going to be in the clear. No, that was too far-fetched yet. Odd. Okay, so what we are going to do. All right, that will probably make the audio come in a lot clearer. Hmm. Good afternoon, good evening, everybody. We got a fun one today. So, I know before I've told people that I thought it was enchiladas was the first thing that I made that I tried to make it in a vegetarian way. Except it turns out it was the shepherd pie that I made when I first got to Colorado. And we're going to do a little bit of a different spin on it than the first time I did it. I'm going to start pulling out the ingredients here. Going to get to do a lot of messing around with camera angles today. I'm going to try to not have that detract from the show, though. Hello, hello. Just getting started, getting into the new element. because I got way more camera angles than I ever had before. We're going to be making this can be pulled off as a vegan shepherd's pie as long as you don't put potatoes in your butter. Did I say potatoes in your butter or butter in your potatoes? I don't know, sometimes it's the same thing. Makes it nice and delicious. Okay. On cube. So we might end up using both of these. I'm going to be using a not beef. And then if we get to making this rice dish in the Instapot over here, be using a not chicken bouillon. And this is way cheaper than buying vegetable stock in the quarts every time. So look at it'll be in this, or sometimes it'll be in a little jar. It'll look like a paste. These are the cubes, so you just 1 cube. Be able to use the rest of our potatoes that we need to get rid of. I have 4 or 5 there. 5, I have just enough. Perfect. And it will want some baked beans, I think. You won't be needing the whole can of that. What we got going down here in the sink is that I have some crumbles here. I'll just run in a little bit of water. I'll break it up. maybe I have the I finally got rid of that little hissing on the end, and now it feels so quiet on my screen. I'll definitely have to add in the music later, but mostly what it is today, folks, is that you guys know that I'm on the graveyard shifts. I stayed up all night till the morning. I had a vaccination appointment, so took care of that. And I was really excited about getting these different windows pulled up. I'm still learning how to just kind of navigate all these places to be now. I close garlic there. I go for my fifth one because why not? Keep on getting the potatoes scrubbed up a little bit. I'm going to add the whole pound of Boca meat here in the skillet. I have it down on just a 2, very low. I'm still washing my vegetables, so I'm not going to have all my attention on this. I just need it to get a little head start. Otherwise, I'll end up cooking the vegetables too long. This Boca is going to need to get to 160 degrees or cook for 12 minutes. The vegetables are only going to need to cook for about 10 before going into the oven. There we go. That's the button I was looking for. And then I got the celery, but I was surprised how floppy it already got. Like, I just picked this up yesterday in the store, and it already got a little bit more wilted on me than I thought. And I'm going to be preparing a little bit extra of these vegetables because I think there might be time to get an Instapot rice dish in on this show too. But we're going to be mostly focused on the shepherd's pie here. What we'll do is we won't peel or cut all our celery. We'll just have it on standby, washed and ready to go. And if we don't have time for it, I'll just throw in the fridge and vegetables will be one step closer to completion. All right. I will start with a good wash of our hands here. I do like that I can show you guys more about what's going on over here on this thing. Part of the show is that I don't really want to make a bunch of cuts and make it all look super clean. I kind of want you all to be able to see, you know, how to navigate through the kitchen, how the kitchen's organized. I'm going to go ahead and just flip that all the way over. All right. First thing I'm going to do is I already got my water here for my potatoes, but you're going to want to bring it to the boil with the potatoes already in the water. So, got my little peeler here too. If you're a real pro, then you can do it with the little knives. And the type of potato I'm using here is just a russet potato. If I'm using this just because it's what I have on hand. I would go with a Yukon Gold potato, would be the one that I'd pick up from the store. And then I would experiment from that point on because there is already going to be a little experiment going on here tonight because I'm going to be using butter with my potatoes, and I am going to take some of these mint stalks. I'm going to put the mint leaves in with the vegetables, but I'm going to put the stalks into the butter and see if I can get some of that flavor out in the butter because fat is fat. It's a flavor transfer. Pretty soon, too, the stream will be able to have a little bit more of a layout. I'll be able to go through different scenes here. It's just so much to do already on top of not burning all the food, folks. I have a lot of fun doing this with all of you. Now, all I'm doing right here off camera right now is I'm peeling my potatoes. I think you can see me setting them up there on the cutting board one at a time. Just taking off all the skin. And we only got 1 day out of our celery before it started to wilt, but these potatoes held up real nice. About 2 weeks here. You should try to buy potatoes for the ones that you're going to use in the week. Otherwise, they can start growing on you. Go. Here's what we say all the time, clean as you go, sign pro. Okay, what are we looking for next? Right. Knife. So this is somewhat unnecessary. You really just need to get a couple of quick shots. I was a little bit more heavy-handed on the salt. I could say like a tablespoon and a half of salt is what I put in there. The potatoes are going to suck that right up. All right, we'll bring that to a boil. I don't usually put my burner all the way up onto a 9. I'll usually just keep it an 8. Will bring things to boiling still relatively quickly. And something I'll point out, what I do with my handles here is that they're not off onto the sides having it. See how this handle is off the grill here on this point? If I set something down, see how I'm lifting up back. That's how you can get hurt. And we're just going to keep on preparing our vegetables here. Doing this all on here, just split it in half. So just make it smaller, and then you won't get these tears right here on the edge. I don't need to be so lazy today. I'm going to have to adjust those sound settings because I know I'm missing out on the. You can tell that the mics are not picking up the knife chopping right now, but is the limits of what I'm able to do for the stream today. I wasn't quite able to get the pre-made recipe tiles either. That was going to be my next step. I almost had it on an overlay here over the cutting board. And I was talking up all recipes just the other day, last Friday. And this recipe is kind of based off a couple versions I saw of shepherd pie on there. I was really hoping my cookbook, the older cookbooks I had, I was really hoping that they would have a shepherd's pie. Maybe it's called something else. All right. So I'm getting a little bit more warmed up on the pot here. I'm going to just add some water. I don't mind boiling my boca meat. That's basically what you're doing. I added about half a cup of water here. And right now I'm still not cooking it that fast. Like I was saying, it does only need 12 minutes, but right now I'm kind of trying to defrost it while I still have my attention on the vegetables and stuff. My back's turned on it. So I'm just trying to, it's on a simmer now. Till I am ready to deal with that. And then I already have my peeler ready to go because I washed it already. I'm just going to peel my carrots next. I'm really excited. I already see the. I was right about to say I see the weather warming up, but I guess Colorado out here is expected for about 40 inches of snow out in the Denver area. I'm not in a cool kids club like that. I'm out in the middle of nowhere, up in the high desert. Peeling carrots. All right, and then to give you an end goal, what we're looking to fill up it's going to be one of these guys. Let's see here. I think I'm going to go with this guy here. A little bit bigger than everything else. Hey, what was nice about the settings right there is that you guys didn't get all the clacking. Give this slight stir. Well, this is going to have to cook for about 20 minutes here. After it comes to a boil, getting nice and soft. And I'm going to be throwing 2 sticks of butter, and that is still not as much butter as you could use. Like I had half of mine to grab a third stick right there. That's just for 5 potatoes. I think just 2 more carrots here will be enough. For this recipe, I had half in mind to shred the carrots. Missing a whole chunk of the carrot right there. I should be less lazy about that. And again, we'll cut these in half. And these guys are small enough, we'll just go ahead and slice them. It's got a little bigger, so we'll go ahead and have it. I need to go for smaller size on the carrots. You know, some days you'll be more tired than others, and you just have to take your time with your knife. I know I'm not doing really anything impressive with my knife skills, but it's sometimes more impressive to still have all your fingers than to be able to cut something fast. We're going to go ahead now actually focus on our boca meat. That at a medium heat. Also got one more carrot to cut here too. Like, yeah, this onion's a little blemished here. You just have to look and see where the blemish is. You can be liberal with it too. You can just peel back more of the onion. That's why I had 2 onions ready, because I already knew I was going to actually take a large chunk. And then you can see that there's still a little bit here. And when that happens, I'll just go ahead and give it a slice. Doesn't break the integrity. And then right now too, I'm just have a compost pile I'm going to be able to use. I'm going to be able to throw this stuff out in my compost instead of into the landfill. Now I'll go straight back into my garden. I'm really excited too. We're going to have so much to start showing off in the show here. Won't just be me always cutting up these mint plants anymore. I am happy that that mint plant has been around. This little banana mint here has been around since near the start of the show. Actually, even months before the show. It was around several months before the show started. Right. That's gonna start browning real nicely, so we're gonna have to listen, watch that. I got a little water already at the ready here. When it starts becoming too dry, I just add some more water on the bottom. Alright, yeah, big fan of boiling my meat substitutes. I think it gets a better brown than if I were to saute that boca in butter right there. And something with the camera angle so good. What I'm hoping to be able to catch here is just how I'm able to start being able to show you guys instead of having to narrate to you guys about how listening. You can start going back and forth, and the more things that you can do at once in the kitchen, the faster you're going to naturally be able to cook your food. That's all our vegetables there. Let's see. Now for the mint. There's two things I wanted to do. I actually wanted to make a little bit of mint tea. I wanted to show folks how to do that. And the trick that I'm going to do, if you don't have a tea ball, you could also use a French press. Boil that water. Our potatoes are about to come to a boil here, so give that another stir. And then, now that I do have more stuff going on, I'm just going to set a timer for 10 minutes. And this is just going to help me keep track to just make sure I'm not wrong about my timing of things. Oh, and I almost forgot about the garlic. So what we're going to do, as well as it still has the skin on, we're just going to smash it. I'll make this peel off really easily. Easier. And I'm going to show you my feelings about how you're supposed to mince garlic. Whoops! Man down, man down. Alright, so I have my meat cooking here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get a second burner out for my vegetables. I thought I was going to be able to do this in one, but I think I misjudged. And I'm also going to I think I'll use this ceramic after I finish boiling water. I'll melt my butter in here, and then I'll be able to just use this. For the vegetables, I'm just going to use a little avocado oil, about a tablespoon. That is a lot of vegetables, maybe 2 tablespoons. Looks like I'm using about the rest. That's gone on somewhere. My thoughts about mincing garlic. Save that for somebody else. Voila, exactly the same thing. You can do another full search here, though. And then another tip about garlic anyway is that if you are going to use a knife, it's okay for it to be a little bit on the bigger side, and especially if you're new to cooking, because what this is going to do is that it's going to have less surface area, which means that you're less likely to burn it. You don't want to be burning your garlic, so if you have your garlic all minced and you add it into your oil, you can very quickly burn that. It'll go from brown to burnt real quick. There's enough action going on in the grill world now. Let's bring you up over to it. I want to see if I can fix noise suppression here. This was starting to stick on the bottom, which is okay. You saw that I added just a little bit extra water. I'm scraping the bottom of it. My pan is pretty full too. So I'm using short movements, that way I don't dump my food all over my grill. I'm going to turn my potatoes, now that they're boiling, I'm going to bring them down to a 4. Adding my onions now. It's the next thing I like to add after the garlic. I realized I was going to want a little bit more water for that tea there. All right, and so it's been 10 minutes. Since we started cooking our boca meat, just for a reference there. I have all my vegetables added now at this point. Put a lid on that, let that come up to temperature. And one more thing I wanted to do is I wanted to add mint to this, and I didn't throw it in earlier because I don't want it to, I don't want the flavor to accidentally evaporate. I'm grabbing my kitchen scissors over here, and for this long stuff that happened over here, I want to cut that first, this long lengthy stuff that happened. And I'll just full on cutting that. I'm not going 3 down on a wire. And then I'm kind of just trying to clear up the brush. Anything that's super on the lengthier side, or maybe if it's on the too big side, I'm going to go ahead and cut it down. I'm working a little quick here, so. Get a haircut and get a real job. The DMCA is gonna block you for wrong. I'm gonna be famous and everyone tells me to get a real job. You have to manifest the things in your life. Anyway. There we go. There's a lot of lankiness right there. I found it. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat off for my meat there. Give this the first stir here. Let's go ahead and preheat my oven to 400 degrees because it's about that time. Let's see, 7:03. I think we'll just have to make the shepherd's pie tonight. I might not have it in me to be able to cook 2 meals at once tonight. And then still practicing as much as we can. See, sign of a pro. This really is like, will make a bigger impact. If you're a little bit like, I wouldn't say it's okay to be slow in the kitchen. I shouldn't say anything like that. What I should say is that you'll save yourself time in the long run. Just cleaning up as you're going. I started having flashbacks to cooks that would just like hold up the whole line until they had things immaculate. Except they were seeing things that weren't really there. And I knew that that's what was going on, but everyone's a little bit different. Alright, I got my water boiling here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to kind of crush this up in my hand. Like so. I'm just throwing that straight into the bottom. My French press here. It's getting hot in here, so use your hand holds. All right. I'm going to go ahead and start melting my butter in this now. We need to harvest a bit more mint. I want to very quickly strip this. And as I do, as I get a clean stick, I'm just going to throw that into the butter. And this is nothing tried or true right here, folks. This is just me this is me having fun in the kitchen right now. Because I got this mint, I have all this mint, I can make a little bit of mint tea. I think I have the stuff to do a little bit of a mint sauce too. which, like lemon, used to be a more traditional pairing, but that was to kind of cover up the spoiledness of it, if I'm understanding it correctly, or maybe a muttony is a more specific way. And I'm not breaking up my sticks. I want my sticks to be easy to remove. All right, wonderful. And for this butter, I just have the heat off for it. I'm just using the residual heat to melt down the butter. And I need to point out again that I did in a couple places let people know that this can be made vegan. The butter makes it not vegan. This is the fun little part that I'm having. You just have to make your mashed potatoes without the butter. Feel free to throw some coconut milk in it, or there's even these really great better than sour cream alternatives if you like throwing sour cream into your potatoes. Something that I didn't grab at the store, but you can make your own brown gravy. I think you'd have to find, it would be a little niche, but to make it vegan, you'd have to find like a vegan, actually, you know what, this vegan Worcestershire sauce could probably make an okay brown gravy. But I used a teriyaki, no, not a teriyaki sauce. What was it? Stir fry sauce. I mean, it came out a little too salty that time, but that's because I also added salt. I already have it out, don't I? Yes, I do. This stuff right here. We're going to go ahead and add 2 tablespoons of this to our veggies here. Just think, somewhere, someplace, on some professional cooking show, there's a guy that gets paid to open all the bottles. So this is half a tablespoon in my hand. Going for 2 tablespoons. That was my can opener dying on me. Probably got that. I'm going to measure this, so I'm going to go ahead and fill up the container of beans all the way up to the top. So I have about 14 ounces of beans left over, about half a can. Put those in the fridge. And check our butter's almost totally melted here. Check to see how soft the potatoes got. Fork goes right through it. Originally, when I made this. I didn't think about using big beans. Not sure what that's going to do to this, but it's definitely worth a shot. Because I actually didn't use any boca meat substitute last time either. Give that another good stir. Got real quiet all of a sudden. There we go. I mean, my grill, like, totally just shut up. It stopped making noise on me. Alright, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my meat here as well. Gosh darn it, you know what I forgot to add to the meat? That bouillon cube. That's okay, I bet that'll be the ingredient that a lot of people will skip the first time they try making this anyway. Because they don't know how amazing they are yet. I'm going to give this a very rough chop. Actually, I just pinch it together. So I didn't really cut the first time, pinch it all together, kind of stack it in on top of itself. I actually get that cut that you're looking for. Alright, I can go ahead and take the sheet off on this. Alright. Drain these potatoes out. Turn the sheet off that as well. I'm gonna add the butter straight away. And the reason why I wanted to use this is because I knew it had this nice little lip for me to be able to pour. See what I'm getting myself into here. Interesting. Very interesting. Now I'm just mashing my potatoes and my butter together here. Well, I don't know if the mint really made like the world of difference here. But it was fun. Still using it. All right. When they're warm in the dishwasher, you just don't want them to be hot. All right, let's bring our dish over here. I think we did a pretty good job on the portion. Get all that goodness in there. What I'm gonna do now, we're gonna mash it down. Now we're ready to add the potatoes. So with that butter, nice and soft, and we're just going to kind of dollop it in a couple places here. We'll come back to the rest of it in a second. We might not need it. Might have had an extra potato there. I'm going to go ahead and fill out the edges first. So I'm going to scoop where it was thicker in the middle here. I'm going to get down my edges first. All right. I was able to just add right what I took out, right back in the middle there. Just keep on laying it on top like so. And then I hope some of you folks have been, or everyone, I hope everyone's been hearing the good news. Lots of stuff to be optimistic about right now. We might even be able to, out here in the Americas, when barbecue season comes, we might be able to have our barbecues. So, while a lot of my recipes are going to be more like, here's how to cook for the family, we will just do a couple, we'll label them a couple different ways. So it'll be like, here's how to cook for your family, but it's also the same how to cook for a crowd. I hear that there's a slight echo, so I'm sorry about that, folks. All right, I got all that potato on there. Perfect. You know what it would. You know what it would looked really suave. We're gonna do it because we're having fun. I'm gonna cut a couple more pieces in that really quick. Again, this part is totally unnecessary to the recipe. You could have been done with this recipe if you were just trying to get it into the oven. But there's me, just likes doing this a little too much. Alright, so what we're gonna do. Is instead of starting like bam, 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 bam going on, we're actually gonna put one in each corner. Keep on, and then just have it a couple more times, like so. And now that you have it on the most, you're free to just fill it in by eyeballing it. And this will help give the pie, it'll kind of give it that crust appearance, but there is no crust. And then where you're able to start eyeballing it is not all the leaves are the same size. this, you're going to be able to fit a couple more leaves some places than you can other places. And if you overlap a couple places a little bit, don't worry. We're just going to throw, we'll keep the circle going. All right, the last thing that we're going to do is we're going to rake this. You're not going deep. If you are picking up your potatoes, you're going too deep. There you go. That's all there was to that. Now we'll get it in the oven. Woo! Need me a quick glass of water after that. Starts to warm up in the kitchen after a while. Now we're just gonna focus on cleaning up our kitchen real quick. This is the nice thing. I can help you cook for a family of 5, but cleaning up after a family of 5, whole different story. That is a team effort. You can't just have one person be doing that. Ooh, come on, so close to tea. Everyone probably thought he forgot about that tea. No, 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 no. Just takes a bit to brew to get a stronger flavor. Oh no, not the sponge. So you're worried about the sponge being contaminated, right? Gonna fill it up with water. We're and nuke it for like 15 seconds, 20 seconds. You can set your sponge on fire by doing this. If you do not put enough water, it needs to be soaking wet. It's going to heat up the water. Do not burn your sponge in the kitchen, please. And then also, more importantly, don't burn yourself, because that's going to be the thing. Let me see if I can show you. Can you see the steam coming off that sponge? That water in there is super hot now. One, it's sanitized. It just reached like 190 degrees. Two, that water in there is still 190 degrees. So I'm not touching that sponge for a second. In fact, I can use my brush here, kind of squeeze it out. Get some water in it a couple times. And now it's safer. Now I can handle it again. Look, I'm working with a clean sponge. It's not carrying a bunch of bacteria. And then I guess part of what I'll say is that this cleaning up as you're going stuff, it's a habit that you build. It doesn't even feel like work to me. It just feels like part of the task. It's all not done, then it's not done. It's not a part two, well, I'll do that later. I do like to keep my wooden utensils out of the dishwasher. So also again, I'll get those quick scrub, get them out of the dirtiness. This stuff too, very easy. This is really probably, if you're working in a small kitchen, this is probably the best skill that I pick up, is just cleaning up as you're going. Because if you're living in a small apartment, you're probably living with roommates. And something that roommates should do for each other is just to have the cooking station ready for cooking to take place. There shouldn't be a bunch of riffraff everywhere, or old bags. Like, I understand that space is limited. It's just about having the workspace. If your workspace isn't clean, like, oh, it's just going to be easier to eat out today. You know, other stuff starts happening. Oh, I want to have a nice little sip now. So close to sitting. There's one more thing that needs to be done real quick. This is why I'm happy that there's so many camera angles. This is why I think this is better than a cooking show that you've seen before, because this isn't how to, this isn't dressing it up. This is very real. This is what we do every day. We eat, we sleep. We gotta do it. We eat, we sleep, we sweep. 8 minutes left on the clock there. I might just have some sugar with this. Oh. Ooh. Boy, oh boy. Let me tell you, like I said, I got that vaccine shot today, and I feel fine. This little soreness in the arm there is all. You'd think after burning this one halfway to hell that I'd be used to that kind of thing, but it just feels a little tender. But I know just moving it's for the best. Just say keep that arm moving. So this came out a little bit clearer than last time, actually. Whew. Yeah, this little way that I cook my mint tea here, it's very much because I have so much mint on hand, and this isn't even a whole lot of mint. This is 2 baby mint plants. This is like you can have a mint bush. You could be having this type of beverage every day. And that's kind of the part that people miss. I did move away from my oven. I heard it sizzling a little bit. It's got a little bit of an overflow to the juices. I already have to clean that oven anyway, so I'm not super worried about it. If I was worried about it, I could move the shepherd's pie to the top rack, and I could put a cookie sheet underneath it. Or actually, no, I wouldn't do a cookie sheet. I do a pizza stone. The cookie sheet, if you don't have anything on the cookie sheet, I don't know why, but they'll warp on you. As long as you have something on it, the heat transfers better. It's just something I've seen. I don't know how to explain it. We only need 4 more minutes anyway. And I might, for the I might give it 1 more minute if I'm not satisfied with what the potato layer looks like. I might throw on the broiler, put it on the top rack and broil it for a minute or two. I really do appreciate how nice everyone is. Just let me get the technical stuff of the stream out of the way. It really helps keep this stream manageable with the amount of time I dedicate it to it. I figure that you know, I'm getting more involved in the communities and in different streamers, and then as we enter in this new year too, is seeing how things are developing. I want to say that this is there's people that are proving it, but people that are running their whole Twitch all by themselves, like most streamers are. Like there's a career in entertainment for you in the future in the because it takes a whole crew to do this type of stuff. And if you're able to produce it as one person, like think about how well we can collaborate in the future because you can get 3 editors that are also content creators. They're also voice actors. They're also social media engagers. Like it's this work for a lot of you might just be in video games right now, but it has the potential to really go in so many directions. Got 1 more minute before we pull this out. The drippings. So I want to turn on my vent fan for a second. As you can see, it was dripping off, and that's what was causing my smoke. And it was just very, very minor. So what I'm going to do here I still want this top a little more brown. And I'm gonna keep that cracked just a little bit. I'm also gonna have the oven light on so I can watch it as it browns here. Oop. This can go in the dirty clean way. Ooh, clean as you go. I'll probably give you guys a lot better view about what I'm waiting on here for. You know, I've been wanting to have music in the background, but for the live stream, for your personal enjoyment, like maybe it's better that I just leave it very empty and let you guys listen to your own musics overhead. But yeah, feel free to send me a message about your thoughts on that. I don't have a suggestion box on just because I'm still working with those widgets. I'm still small enough where I can be personal with you. Oh, actually, I'm gonna put it over here. I have no idea where this is aiming until I sit down now. Oh. Oh my goodness, it's still. Oh, man, so close, but so far. Ooh. Happy Friday, everybody. We finally made it. Another Friday. I hear that March is finally going to end. Isn't that amazing? It feels like March lasted a whole year. Are we still in 2020? Oof. I need some more tea. Oh, maybe people that watched the whole episode would be angry at me if I called it tea. I want to drink more of my herbal water. Oh my goodness. It's time to take off the apron. Kick back and relax, and gotta go to work. Oof. Ah. Sometimes I don't know how people do it. They got these full-time jobs, and then they're like, I'm gonna be a full-time streamer too. And I'm like, you go, Rockstar. I'm trying to work 20 hours a week. That way I can actually take a look at what's going on in my community. Get my herbal water. And there we have it. There's a shepherd's pie for you. In this case, it's a vegetarian shepherd's pie. He used, we didn't put in the beef bouillon cube, but what's traditionally in a shepherd's pie is lamb anyway. Though I don't know how traditional a quote-unquote shepherd's pie even is, because I did not find it in a cookbook. And with all recipes, everyone kind of had their own rendition of it. So if someone would be able to forward me what a real shepherd's pie recipe looks like with the lamb and everything, I very much appreciate that in the future. This is going to be delicious, though. The mint is kind of just like it's just a kind of like it was supposed to be a nod to just how lamb was sometimes served with mint sauce. I was seeing what onion paired well with lamb. I went with the red onion tonight just because I had so many extra red onions. I thought I was going to end up pickling some red onions, and I never got around to doing that. Or there's this other recipe too that called for a whole pound, like 3 pounds of onions or something like that. And I never found that recipe again. Oh, because I found, oh man, so some extra work I did do on the stream, right? There was, I got like 4 or 5 recipes. It was great. It was even going to start cooking some Indian, the country food. I'm severely lacking in Indian spices. Besides turmeric, I definitely have turmeric on lockdown. The recipe that we weren't able to make today, I did it. Right now, it's featured on the YouTube under the Apronless Show, and that one didn't have a straight up recipe either. I showed people how to cook a recipe that way, being like, okay, we have 7 people here tonight. And so I took enough carrots, celery, and rice to cook for 7 people. And that's really, really key if you want to cook for a family, because, and that's how you keep on top of food waste too, is because you know how much leftovers you're going to have because you're making it by the serving. You're not just making like, oh, this serves 4. You can make any recipe a single serving. Like baking, it might be harder to do that with baking just because since you're working with smaller measurements in baking for a single, those measurements would have to be more precise. There's way less wiggle room, if that math makes sense. That does still, the mint, it still gives this like it kind of, it might not do much for the taste for trying to imitate lamb with that bokeh meat, but it might have done more for the smell, which goes a long way. Ooh, can I smell that? Mm-hmm. All right, I think it's about safe to be able to break into that. Oh. Now it's still really hot, so it's gonna crumble a bit more on you, so you'll need to plate it a little bit like that. First one. But after you get in your first slice and it cools down a bit more, it will be easier to just kind of cut into and pick it up. So ah, on to the important bits. The taste. You know, the my favorite thing that I've learned from anime, is that 3 blows is the perfect amount of blows for your food. Oh. So the bokeh substitution still gives me ground beef texture. What does a good job of hiding that texture is the baked beans that we used here. That did a good job on kind of the beans and the ground beef flavor mixed together, so kind of like you tasted it at the same time. You know, amazingly enough, it was finally on that third bite where the mint finally kicked in. I think if you threw mint in like we did here, I think your friends would be like on this point. They'd be at this point being like, "How's that so good? What is it?" Yeah, it's all coming in together under one flavor now. And you know, they'd be someone would actually be able to look at this and being like, look at it and be like, did you put mint in this? Because it's not mint powder or anything like that. You can still see some of the mint leaves. But honestly, I think that melting those stems or soaking the stems in the butter like that, I think having it on that potato layer and on the underneath layer, I think that's what really brought it all together. And then I was worried a little bit using red onions. I was thinking that this might end up being a little bit punchy on the onion. Like I was really worried that I'd overwhelm the mint. Uh, but the onion's definitely an undertone. Um, Heck, I would recommend this red onion again, or I would do a yellow onion. Uh, White onion's the only thing. I wouldn't even be that worried about using a white onion instead either, because the onion flavor's not that present. It just mixes too well with the carrots and everything else. It's definitely taking an undertone. You'd know. It's like the base though. You'd know if it wasn't there. Well, this was absolutely scrumptious, folks. I always appreciate you guys checking in. I've been getting a lot of love on the stream. I super appreciate it. I get, and I'm not going to be discouraged either, folks, because I know like talking about this good news and things are going to be opening back up a bit. Barbecue season's anticipated to be wonderful. So don't worry, I won't be mad if people are out celebrating their Friday nights for a little bit, finally getting out of the house. I'll be here every Friday, cooking up some food, getting better at showing you folks how to do it. I hope I did an okay job. Let people, any newcomers, know what this show is going to be about. We really focus on reducing food waste, to use what we have on hand, to cook for a family. I think I lost my train of thought there for a second, but I was trying to explain that being able to cook to a number, to be able to take a recipe and being like, okay, this is 7 portions or 5 portions or 4, it's because sometimes your kids will be out at soccer practice or they're going over to a friend's house this week, or maybe they're bringing an extra friend over because we'll be able to have that life again. And maybe but I think for a lot of people too, I think a lot of people are going to be comfortable having folks over, but not so comfortable going out into public so much. And you know, it really sucks that there's like the people that have the space to host might get caught in the trap of like showing it off, and that's not going to make people want to come over. And there's a lot of people my age too. I know that there's like kind of like this unsaid eh, it's not all people. Like I'm making no generalizations here, but um, And also, we're just stressed out. Like, I am not judging anyone after the year that we've had, but when someone has a nice, clean place, like a lot of us struggle with like being able to have clean environments and to be able to keep things free of clutter. And for me personally, I was like self-conscious a bit because I'm like, oh, I'm not trying to show this off. I'm not trying to show off the nice things I have. I'm proud that I'm able to not set this all on fire. You know what I mean? I'm glad that I can actually maintain this to be able to share it with you. I'm very much a thinker of build, if you have the resources to build a longer table, not a taller fence. Some of the memories that stick out for me is when I was able to like just cook for 4 or 5 random people that came over. Um, and with food, uh, I don't talk about this too much on the show, but I've always really wanted to do like to help with men's health and men's confidence. And I was struggling about how to do that, how to best help people, without like being a savior. Because no one wants to get saved. People want to do it themselves. Some people might need saving. That's a different thing though. No one wants to be saved though, I would imagine. I mean, I guess I would say it would be more likely that someone would like to not be saved than to. But hey, once again, there's all types in this world. We really can learn a lot from each other. And that's why, again, I say this probably as often as clean as you go, sign of a pro. I don't view other cooks, I don't view other chefs, I don't view other streamers as competition. That expect because uh, the streamers is obvious that like we're kind of like there's so many games to play is my opinion on that. But then more for the cooking is that there's billions of people on this planet. We don't have enough cooks to feed them all. That doesn't mean like I imagine a world of where everyone's going out to restaurants. I'm just saying that um, there is a need for food, and something I'm very excited to do on the future is we're going to get the garden going more and more. I was showing off on that last week's episode. It's still up on Twitch for another week here. Afterwards, that video, the garden prep video, is currently not uploaded onto YouTube because Elvis Presley was playing in the background at some point. They got very upset about that. So, like I said, the reason why I bring up streamers though is because I really want to point out to them, like, and I put up my videos, and yeah, they're not edited great, they're not masterpieces. Some have audio mistakes in them. I think my first 3 videos got uploaded with the constant echo coming through. But I want to show people kind of how to build this up in a healthy way. Oh, I hear. I'm going to go ahead and take care of that.
Is it over?
No, I'm still talking for a minute. I'm wrapping it up right now, though. Ooh. But yeah, show's gone about half an hour over now at this point. Just trying to give a little extra tidbits for all you. At the end here, something that I could clip for you. I still need to make a channel introduction video so that can kind of operate like that. All right, thank you as always for putting your energy back into people, and I'll see you all next week. Thank you so much for dropping by for the live show, and I'm so happy you came out here to check it out on the replays. That was just fine too. I was a bad boy, and I did not write out the recipe. I'm going to be fixing these types of issues. I'm going to be probably a Pinterest and a WordPress, like I've been saying, and we'll have all the recipes posted there, no matter what. That way, if I get a little bit busy and I don't have enough time to make the individual slides for the show, or maybe like this show this week where I'm practicing with different camera angles, you'll still have a place to go where you can recreate the exact recipe that we made today. Thank you so much. Have a great night.